Welcome back to Unjaded, or if you're a first-time listener, welcome here for the first time. Today, I'm excited to walk you through an episode that actually came from a client session that I had yesterday. And all of a sudden, we were working on Voxer for a 6-hour session, and all of a sudden, we hit this kind of roadblock where she's like, hard stop, I can't do that. And we were talking about the problem that she solves and how she's going to message that in her social media, her blogs, her podcast, any of those things. And the hard stop for her was in, I can't sell myself. I think it's yucky, which was interesting to me because she started talking about how she had to talk about her offers in her posts. And I was like, whoa. How did we get from what we were talking about, solving the problem with your client, to selling your offers in every post? And she's like, oh, I just thought that's what you meant, because every coach I've ever worked with has told me that every post has to lead to something. And I'm going to break down that misconception or that mistake that you may be making or that you may have been told and you're resisting. I'm kind of glad you're resisting it in today's episode. Stay tuned. Welcome to Unjaded. This is your straight talk, shoot from the hip, wrapped in a little bit of love, Human Design for Business podcast. We talk a lot here about clarifying your message so that you can bring in paying clients with ease. And ease is different from easy. Stick around to find out how we roll here. I'm your host, Vickie Dixon. I am a 2-4 emotional manifesting generator, light on the emotional, and I'm a quad right in human design. In real speak, I am an entrepreneur of 30 plus years. I've had every kind of business there is, and I always say that business is my love language. I can't wait to dive in with you here on the podcast. So I'd love for you to just put on your consumer hat for a minute and think about how it feels for you when you're scrolling on social media, when you're, listening to a podcast, when you're looking at a YouTube video and it's selling. Now, I'm betting that either you're falling into one of two camps. Maybe you're selling all the time in your posts and it's a real turn off, or you're so turned off by it everywhere else that you're afraid to do it in your own posts. And there is a balance. So when I look at creating content, I don't think that I'm creating content. I don't think that you're creating content solely for the purpose of making a sale. We create content to pour love on our people, I think. We create content to bring them a little further along on their journey. We create content to maybe build a community, to maybe build that know, like, trust factor. Our content is not meant to go content sale. That's not how it works. And leaning into your human design strategy really allows you to create the kind of content that your people need to hear and that feels good for you to create and that's easy for you to create. So for me, I am a manifesting generator. This client that I was working with was a generator. And I said to her, have you ever been in a coffee shop or a public place and you overhear a conversation at the table behind you and you're like, oh my God, I have to talk about that. So-and-so needs to hear this. My people need this. That's what longs to be expressed in you. That is you acting in response as a generator type. That is the content that is going to be golden. And in your mind, sitting in that coffee shop is not, oh my God, I wonder how I can sell an offer from talking about this. It's like, my people need to know this. That type of content that just flows effortlessly from you comes from leaning into your human design strategy. For this particular person, she's a generator type, but she also has an undefined throat. Actually, the only definition in her design, and I'm going to do a chart overview of her design just because I think it's super fun, probably on YouTube and also on the podcast. So in her design, we see that the bottom of her chart is defined and the top is completely open. Her throat center is undefined. So we know that she needs to be recognized. Even though she's a generator, we know that recognition is going to be important for her. We know that it's going to help her to get things started. The throat center is all about taking action. We know that there's a lot of time in her life where she doesn't feel seen and heard. And recognition can help her to actually feel seen and heard. So one of the things that I always do when I'm working with someone with an undefined throat is that I have them really look at mirror work, really look at getting in front of the mirror and recognizing themselves before they go out into the day. I recognize you for. I recognize you because that was so awesome that you were able to complete that task yesterday. And that just helps to, I call it zhuzhing up. It just helps to like zhuzh up the entire design. And then this person is sitting in a coffee shop or going about her day and boom, she can respond to the things that are happening and she can take action and create content around it. For projectors, your strategy is to wait for the invitation. And I would love for you to assume the invitation. Assume that if people are following you on social media, assume that if someone is listening to your podcast, they have invited you to share what it is that you have to share. But also that recognition piece is going to be really important, right? Recognition starts with you. So recognize yourself as you start your day and then allow yourself to flow. So maybe someone asks you a question about your expertise. Maybe someone asks you to share an insight on something. Maybe you're asked to provide something in a meeting and you think, oh my gosh, my people could really benefit from this too. There's your invitation to go on over and share that in your content. Again, not thinking about the sale, thinking about my people need this. As a manifestor, we know that you are here to impact and to initiate. You get things started. You have, like, from whatever you believe God to be, from God's lips to your ears, constantly just boom, 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 this divine flow of inspiration coming in. What longs to be expressed? What do your people need to know about? It's not your offer. It's not your sale in every post. That's for sure. So leaning into your human design strategy really allows you to trust that the content that you're providing is actually adding value to your people and then not thinking about the sale. When you're in that space of using your strategy, leaning into your strategy, the sale doesn't even matter. It's not even coming into play. It's said that this was a 2022 statistic that people needed 27 touches in order to move closer to buying from you. Used to be 7 touches prior to 2020, but as of 2022, it was 27. I can't even imagine what it is now. So you know that you need to touch your people over and over and over and over again. And that doesn't sound like, buy my offer, here's my offer, look at my offer. Not at all. It really is you helping your people to feel seen. It really is you creating content in a way that allows them to identify with what you're saying. When you get really, really clear on the problem that you're here to solve, then, and side note, in this particular Voxer session, this happens in every Voxer session, but in this particular Voxer session, we spent the first 2 hours actually getting the words for the problem that she solves. So if you are unclear on how to create content in your business that actually brings people closer to working with you, then I'm going to say that there is something missing in how you are describing the problem. Your ideal client needs to be able to put her hand up or his hand up and say, oh my God, you're talking to my soul. That's me. You're inside my head. How do you know that about me? That's the kind of content that that person needs to see in order to work with you. And it doesn't matter if you promote your offer in that post or not, because she knows or he knows that you see them. So think of your content as a service. Think of your content as a service first. You are pouring love on your people. You're building relationships. You're building rapport. You're showing up. You're showing that you can be trusted. They step a little bit further in your world so that then when you're ready to sell, they're already listening to you. They already trust you. You've already provided so much value that you're going to be the obvious choice as long as you've nailed your message and you know how to talk about your offer in a way that lets them know that it's for them and all of those things. But they're in your world and they trust you. That's a big piece of the puzzle. So what I think we all could be doing is having a little more fun in our content. And leaning into your human design strategy actually makes creating content fun and effortless and effective. You know how it is, right? I'm going to speak in generator speak here right now. When I create something in response, that piece of content is golden. That piece of content is going to touch so many people. It's going to get way more engagement. It's going to have people DMing me to talk about it. It's going to light me up inside because as people are engaging with me, I'm going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. I'm not going to feel like my content is a job, like when I say, click here to buy my offer type of thing, right? Yes, there is a place for selling your offer, and we will definitely get to that, not in this episode, but there are places to sell your offer, but it's not in every post. And one of the things that we worked through on this Voxer Day as well that may help you, and I heard this from Art Jonak years ago, who is the head of the Mastermind event, does a lot of work within the direct sales space. He's a really good human, in my opinion. And he said that your feed is for the heart and your story is for the hustle. So we know that where we're going to see the sales conversions are more in our stories than on our feeds. So don't even think about selling in your feed. Maybe once in a while, maybe when you're in a launch, it doesn't mean you can't, but don't focus on that. When you have something ready to sell, when you want to bring people into your offers, do that in your stories and in your email. I recorded an episode on the Pulse on Human Design. I'll link it in the show notes for you. all about why to use email marketing. Email marketing boasts a 4,200% ROI. For every dollar you spend on email marketing, you can expect $42 in return. That is not nothing, my friend. So let's ditch this pressure that you're feeling to sell in your feed, sell in your feed, sell in your feed. Let's ditch the every post has to lead to an offer. Let's just go and love on our people and lean into our human design strategies so that we can create content that is effortless and easy and fun. And when you're having more fun in your business, when you're having more fun in your content, you will draw the people to you who you are here to serve. I can promise you that.